Welcome to a new video, lads. This is a slightly... it's slightly earlier than it should be. August... The season ends in November. Now, I did mine in October last year, and I didn't get any of the drivers right, so that doesn't really help. But welcome to a F1 2014 driver lineup prediction, and I've got a good friend with me today. His name is Matt Coombs, also known as Stopmat1998.
Hey guys, yeah, it's good to be here to predict the 2014 driver lineup, and hopefully we'll get them all right this time.
Yeah, hopefully. So we might as well just get straight into it, really. Do you want to start with Red Bull?
Yeah, the Red Bull lineup, I'm going to predict Sebastian Vettel to obviously take the first Red Bull seat, because as you probably know, he has a contract at Red Bull for 2014. But the main talking point is that Mark Webber's retiring and that second seat is up for grabs. I'm going to give that seat to Daniel Ricciardo, mainly because I think he's a great driver. He's shown that in the Toro Rosso, and I think he'll be a good replacement for Webber. Maybe Ricciardo could potentially be consistent. Well, he could consistently beat him, but I doubt that'll be happening. I think Ricciardo needs some time. I don't expect him to get podiums and race wins straight away, because he needs to get used to the car.
No, absolutely.
At least a season to get to that stage. Yeah, but I can't imagine things running smoothly at Red Bull if Vettel was partnered with someone with the potential to consistently beat
Raikkonen or Alonso, something like that.
That would be that. And so, yeah, Red Bull, I'm going to predict Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo.
Really, I predict the same thing, because even though Horner says the deal isn't done, let's face it, the deal's pretty much done now, isn't it, really? You know, Kimi Raikkonen's out of it, Alonso's not going to leave, and, you know, it's got to be Ricciardo now, really.
So...
Should we move on to McLaren?
McLaren, yeah, we can move on to McLaren. Oh, goodness, sorry. For goodness sake, sorry.
Well, I'll predict this one if you like. Well, I believe that it's not going to change. Just Button and Perez, really. They've been pretty consistent this year, even though the car's pretty bad compared to what it was last year. I mean, they haven't even had a podium this year. But I don't see them two drivers going anywhere, because Jenson Button hasn't signed a contract yet, but I can imagine he'll probably sign one soon. Perez hasn't got one either, has he? No.
I think Perez has got a contract.
Right, so if Perez has got a contract, I think Button's probably going to confirm one in the next couple of weeks. Do you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Button and Perez will stay at McLaren for next season. I don't see Button leaving McLaren at all, as he kind of lacked the pure pace to drive at a team like Red Bull or Ferrari, and he's kind of settled in as a number one at McLaren as a good representative for such a corporate team. I think Perez will stay, as he has he has still a lot to prove in a better car. With McLaren losing the Vodafone sponsorship, at the end of the year, his ties with Telmex, I think it is, will be very useful as a potential future sponsor for McLaren. Will bring them in quite a lot of money, as obviously money is quite tight at the moment in Formula One.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's pretty much McLaren doing. Do you want to go on to Ferrari?
Ferrari, this is an interesting one. Obviously, Fernando Alonso, Ferrari, but the main. I'm going to predict, this could be quite interesting, I'm going to predict Kimi Raikkonen, actually. I think Raikkonen was only fired from Ferrari because they couldn't really fire Massa in 2009, because it would have been kind of unfair on him after his accident. I think Ferrari will definitely want Raikkonen, but it depends if he can forgive them, but I don't think that will really take much. But plus, I can't see Raikkonen at Red Bull for the reason I just mentioned about the Red Bull driver lineup. And I can't see him partnering Perez at McLaren or staying at the financially insecure Lotus. So, yeah, I think going to be Kimi Raikkonen and Fernando Alonso at Ferrari next season.
Well, I think that Alonso will obviously. I think it's only if Massa does end up retiring at the end of the year that Raikkonen will take his seat, because I don't think that Massa really he's not done that well. He's been on the decline for a couple of years, hasn't he, really, now? Felipe Massa. But I don't know whether he'll keep his seat, but I'd say either Raikkonen or Hulkenberg will take his seat next year if he decides to retire. I don't think the team will... It's tight. I don't really know, but I can't really say. But I'd like to agree with you saying Kimi Raikkonen and Fernando Alonso. So let's move on to Mercedes. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. I think Mercedes. I think it'll probably be say the same because Lewis has settled in very well there. He obviously won in Hungary, got in second in Belgium, so he's doing pretty well at the moment. Nico Rosberg, unless I just don't see him moving to another team really. I can't see Alonso. Why am I saying Alonso? I can't see Rosberg anywhere else than Mercedes. It's very weird. It's tight. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see the lineup changing at all. In my opinion, I think Mercedes probably have the strongest lineup, so I really don't see it changing. And I see Hamilton and Rosberg being their two drivers for many years to come, to be honest.
Yeah, I think if, like, next year, because obviously if Red Bull do go with the pairing of Sebastian and Daniel, I think Lewis and Nico, and possibly if Raikkonen moves to Ferrari, they'll probably be the two strongest teams next year, if you look at it, really. Unlike, if McLaren better their car and become a race-winning car next year, that could be better. But I just don't see Button and Perez being better than them because Button's got a very laid-back style, and Perez, he's just a bit, I think he's still getting used to the car, really, Perez. But I think it's come a bit of a shock, really, to Perez that the car isn't as good as he would have thought. So, but like you say, I think it's going to be Lewis and Nico that stay. So let's move on to the Lotus F1 team.
Okay, should I start? I'll start. I think Lotus will keep Grosjean based on his current performance. But the thing is, he needs to improve his consistency because he's not very consistent at the moment.
No.
But I actually think Hulkenberg will join over someone like De Resta because he seems to have more outright pace than De Resta, and I think he'll move to Lotus to move up the grid. However, I think the Ferrari seat will be taken by Raikkonen, as I just mentioned. So, Lotus, I'm going to predict Grosjean and Hulkenberg.
Well, I agree with you on the Grosjean, but I'm very puzzled about Nico Hulkenberg. Well, Nico Hulkenberg, he's a decent driver, but I don't think De Resta deserves the step up at the moment because he's not as good. He's not the best midfield driver to move up to the next team. Would you say Hulkenberg's the best, if you like, mid-tier driver at the moment? As in, like, Force India, Sauber, Toro Rosso and Williams?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, his car's not the best at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think if he was in the Force India partnering De Resta, I think, yes, he would be. Because I don't see him staying at Sauber because Sauber really do need the money.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hulkenberg
I was just going to bring that up, yeah. I mean, like you say, with the money problems, I think either to cut costs, they'll have to, terminate Hulkenberg's contract at the end of the year, unfortunately. They need to. We'll talk about Sauber in a bit because I think we've got the same prediction who's going to Sauber, but we're not going to say that too early because we're only on Lotus at the moment. But it's either going to be Grosjean or Hulkenberg, or I can see someone like, I don't know why, Suttil or someone like that going there perhaps, but it could be interesting. Like there's people like Heikki Kovalainen who's got really good experience, so I think he could be an outsider to go to Lotus. But I probably predict the same as you, Hulkenberg and Grosjean for Lotus. So we'll move on swiftly to Force India. It's my turn, isn't it? My turn, yeah. Well, who I picked for Force India? I think the lineup's going to say the same. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's going to say the same. I think both drivers are all right, and I think Force India have been impressed with both of them this year. And Force India, they kind of had an up and down season. They've had some good races and some bad races. But I don't see their drive lineup changing at all. Well,
I mean, they're still in front of McLaren now. No, they're not, are they now? I don't think.
No.
I think McLaren did overtake them last race in Belgium, but up till then they were in front of McLaren, and that's saying something. That's really good, saying something. And I think they'll keep the same lineup because they've been doing all right this year. They're not tight on money. Vijay Mallya's got a bob or two to keep in the team, but I don't see their lineup changing personally. So we go on to Sauber now.
I think the Sauber lineup will be decided purely on who can bring in the most money.
Yeah.
For the team.
Well, I mean, as Esteban, I'm pretty sure that Esteban Gutierrez will stay at the team, but
along with Sergi Sorokin.
I mean, I haven't heard much about him, so tell me more.
However, the problem that Sauber have with those two drivers, I mean, they need the money, but the problem is
young, unexperienced drivers, really.
Yeah, that, and also they're probably the least talented drivers on the grid.
Yeah.
Prejudging the new guys' performances, but
yeah.
It's just going to be. I'm afraid that's Formula One these days.
I know it sounds silly, but they could bring someone like Max Chilton in, really, because I think he's the worst.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, F1 is about money now. I think I'm a British fan, but I think Max Chilton is the worst driver on the grid. I think, unfortunately, but I could see someone like perhaps Chilton going there with his money. You know, his dad's just got a load of money. I mean, he spent 11 million to keep him in the sport for 20 races. I don't think he deserves to keep his seat at Marussia, but it could be interesting because he could be an outsider to go to Sauber. So I'm going to predict Gutierrez and Max Chilton. Who are you going to predict? Gutierrez and...
Yeah, I think Gutierrez and Sorokin. I don't see Chilton joining Sauber.
No. Okay. Right. This is a big one because of Daniel Ricciardo's pretty much apparent move to Red Bull. Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
Well, it's tight, isn't it?
Yeah.
John-Eric Vergne I can see staying there because he's got nowhere else to go, and he's a decent driver, more consistent than Daniel Ricciardo, I believe. I think he was always an outsider to go to Red Bull, but it was always Ricciardo that Christian Horner saw as the better driver, I think. But I think it'd be Vergne and perhaps either Carlos Sainz or Antonio Felix da Costa. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it will be Jean-Eric Vergne, as you said, and Antonio Felix da Costa, mainly because that Carlos Sainz Jr. is only about 18 years old, 19 years old, and I think he's far too young to get into Formula One. He hasn't really raced in many proper racing series. I mean, he's in, I'm not even sure what series he's in at the moment, but...
Is he in GP3? I thought he was in GP3. No?
I don't know. I know Felix da Costa's in Formula Renault 3.5 or something like that. And I think he's doing actually quite well in that. And I think he would...
Fantastic. Yay! Carry on.
With more experience, I think Felix da Costa will take that Toro Rosso seat over Sainz Jr.
Yeah. Right, my phone is going off in the background, so this isn't the best kind of thing for a video. But I think we're going to wait till our phone's finally really finished ringing.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's Toro Rosso done. We've got 3 teams left, Williams, Caterham and Marussia. So why don't you predict who's going to go for Williams this next year?
I think Williams will stick with Pastor Maldonado and Valtteri Bottas because Williams seem quite stable with Maldonado bringing the money and outright pace, and actually seem improving his maturity a little bit, apart from maybe that crash in Belgium. But yeah, so I think Bottas is deemed to be a star of the future, who, like Perez, needs the car to improve before he can be truly judged.
Yeah.
Truly be judged. Because their car's not the best at the moment, and I don't think Bottas can show his true outright pace at the minute. Yeah,
I think that the lineup's either going to stay the same, but the driver who I can see leaving if one is Maldonado. That's only if that happens, but I can imagine that the lineup will probably stay the same. Being that, God, I've just drank a cup of tea and my voice is going. Maldonado and Bottas, yeah. So I think that's it for them teams. And now we go to the 2 backmarker teams, if you like, Marussia and Caterham. I'm going to start with Caterham. Now, I've heard your view on Caterham, and it's very interesting, and I'd like my viewers to hear it, if you like.
Okay, so I think going to Caterham, I think will be Charles Pic, as he has already got a contract at Caterham for 2014. I also think that Caterham kind of need to regain the experience of Kovalainen, so that's why I'm going to go with him as the second driver for next season.
Right.
For next year, and partner him with one of their current new drivers, which will be Charles Pic. And Van der Gaar's actually really improved throughout the season, but I just don't see him staying. I see Kovalainen replacing because they need that experience. Because I'm not sure if Caterham really need the money that desperately.
No, I think Caterham have got a bit more money than Marussia, really.
Yeah.
John, but Tony Fernandez used to be the chairman, didn't he? And now he's just brings the money in, doesn't he, I suppose, now?
Yeah.
For God's sake, someone keeps calling me. You know, for Caterham, I'd like to see Van der Gaard stay, because I'm a real big fan of Van der Gaard, but if... It annoys me, F1 does now, because it's all about money, isn't it? If you don't bring much money in, you can't go. Like Robin Frijns, I know you don't really watch the GP2 that much, but Robin Frijns, you know, Robin Frijns, great driver. I think he could easily go to a team like Marussia or Caterham next year, but he hasn't got much money, so it's silly really now, because you need the financial backing, unless you go into the big teams like McLaren, you know, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Lotus, etc. But apart from them teams, you need a bit of money to get into the teams, don't you, unfortunately?
Yeah. So...
That's Caterham done. So we're going to go on to the final team, which is the Marussia Formula 1 team. So I'm going to predict who's going to do this. And I think Chilton's going to keep his seat, because even though he doesn't deserve it, he has. I mean, with his dad bringing so much money to the team, they don't care. I don't think they really care about how good he's driving. If he's bringing 11 million in, you know, in a year, of course they're going to keep him. You know, Bianchi is an if. I think Bianchi is 10 times better than Chilton. Especially watching from the race in Belgium, you know, it gives me a very good idea to what Chilton and Bianchi are like. And because obviously you don't see much of them on telly, Bianchi's a lot faster than Chilton. And Chilton was getting lapped a lot before Bianchi was. And it's sad really that Marussia and Caterham, in Belgium, they started 14th, 15th, 16th. Bottom 3 within like the first 5 laps. I think it's really bad, that is. It's upsetting for me. But like I say, the Marussia lineup, I think that's going to stay the same with Bianchi and Chilton. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, it's going to stay with Chilton and Bianchi, because both drivers come with quite a big budget that will obviously please Marussia, who need the money. While I think Max Chilton is far from the fastest driver on the grid, he has the money that Marussia needs and seems to be impressive them so far.
Yeah, exactly.
And with Bianchi, he has the money and he does have the pace as well, and maybe within the next couple of years he could be going up the field to a bigger team.
Now, that's it for the 11 teams, but could there be a 12 team in Formula 1 next year that we don't know about?
I don't think so, no.
No.
I haven't really heard any rumours or anything go around about a new team. There was that US F1 team apparently going to return in 2014, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
No, I think that, you know, F1's a tight sport to start from scratch, as proved by, you know, Hispania, Super Aguri, a lot of more teams like that just haven't got the money like Hispania last year when they went out the sport. De La Rose was bringing a bit in, but Carver wasn't bringing much in, was he?
No.
So the team did, you know, go bust, and before the start of the season, Caterham and Marussia did say that they could have easily left the sport because of the financial difficulty that both the teams have got. But I think with Chilton and Bianchi at Marussia, I think next year that Marussia could be better than Caterham, because are Marussia getting new engines next year?
They are changing from Cosworth to Ferraris. Cosworth aren't making a 2014 engine.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, because obviously, I mean, I think Marussia are doing pretty impressive though, because Caterham's got the Renault engine, whilst Marussia's got the, you know, the Cosworth engine. And I think that's pretty good from Marussia, because Cosworth's pretty much the slowest, and Caterham had to start with that, you know, HRT, etc. But it's been a very good year this year so far. I can see Vettel winning his next championship. A bit unfortunate for that. But I'm glad, if you're still here, that you've stopped for the 20 minutes, because very long video and it's going to take me a very long time to upload. So I've been Tej, Toby, whatever you want to call me, ReviewTIJ, and also leave yours in the comments. Leave your predictions in the comments. If you have different predictions from us, put them in the comments, because I want to see you guys, your views, if you like. So make sure you do that, and make sure to like this video. And if you've already subscribed to me, please go and check Matt's channel out. It'll be in the description. If it's not in the description because I forgot about it, it is Stopmat1998 that you can just search that in the search box, and he's got some very good videos. Have you nearly got 70 subscribers now, Matt?
I've got 72 subscribers actually.
Right, so he's at 750, so let's see if we can get him 100 before the season ends. Right, so I've been Tej. Thank you guys for watching, and it's bye from me and bye from
Matt. Bye.
Bye guys. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Bye.